Alright, my name is John. I got a little dilemma here in the garden. This apricot royal grew out really nicely, got a nice crown on it. I've actually cut it completely off to get new growth, and that's what I got. And I believe somebody has climbed on it over the winter, as far as the kids, just because it's so attractive to climb on. It's like a seat. So they broke out a huge limb. And this year, even though it was, destined to produce a lot of fruit, has dried up. And I'm getting new growth coming out of the sides. I'll show you here. There's some new growth. It's coming up. For some reason, this guy is wilting. Right there. Possibly due to the shoots. I have ripped off these shoots and they look vigorous. They're from the rootstock. So I have ripped them off so they don't rob this trunk of any nutrients and growth. So my plan is to cut it off right above all that new growth. And this is where the limb has been broken off, and I've trimmed the bottom here a little bit to help out, but didn't work. And then prior to that as well, the woodpecker has really gotten to this tree and it removed a lot of bark everywhere, and even down the trunk here there's just tons and tons of holes. I got a lot of woodpeckers that do a lot of damage to my trees, so apparently there's some live tissue here, right there. So this one's still growing, but it ain't worth keeping. I mean, this might be just the remnants or whatever is left inside the tree itself is pushing this out, and then I'm assuming the rest of it is dead. So I'm just gonna cut this off and start over, and hopefully this tree recovers and grows well. And here, I'll show you the whole process. These are my tools, my loppers, my saw. Then this is the spray that I'm gonna use, the pruning sealer. I'm gonna spray this on as soon as I'm done cutting. It works really good. There's my knife. I'll trim up some of the rough cuts from the saw, and get the cambium to grow up pretty, a lot better. So hopefully this all recovers and grows well. So, but in general, the apricots are kind of finicky, especially here in the Northwest. I do have another apricot actually close by. I'll show you. Follow me. Or should I say walk with me. This one has actually produced, I was having a bad time focusing on everything. Here's a little apricots. Yeah, so there's a few of them on this tree. There's more. So this tree is doing good, and I've done the same thing to this one. I have completely removed the top and got a lot of new scaffold branches that formed, and this one's doing wonderful. All right, so we're back at the tree. I'm going to start just chopping these branches off so I can get to the trunk. I'll grab my loppers here and just start cutting away. We're literally removing everything off of this tree so we can get to it. So we'll put in new pieces right away. Smaller pieces so we can manage them. watch out, make sure the branches don't fall down and break off the new growth. So, which could easily happen. So I save the tag. I'm gonna remove this in my pocket. You know, as sad as it is to see him go, but hopefully it's for the best. I mean, the tree is drying up for sure, so I mean, no doubt about it, it ain't gonna recover. And even if he does, that damage right there will cause further rotting. You know, even the large cut that I'm gonna make off the top is not good for it either, but at least we can save the tree for a little while. Or maybe we can use some growth for some scion wood next year. If whatever grows out, we can graft to the other apricots, the ones I have growing, and we can save this variety, have it grow on another tree. So we can get some rootstock and graft it to there. It's another option. So that's like an 1.5 inch branch, and this Fisker brand loppers are extremely strong, and they're doing the job. So I'm gonna just prop it on my foot so I can hold it. Otherwise, I might drop it. Okay, so put this aside. I'll grab my saw. I'm gonna saw it off. Let's find out. I'm gonna cut at a slight angle for the water to drain off. So the tree is kind of naturally tilted out of sight a little bit. So if I cut it straight, it's gonna have a natural angle. So I'm gonna make sure. And I'm not gonna cut it too low, but like somewhere right here, like that. And I can also graft to this tree as well, but I just don't have any scion material, because this would be really nice to graft to. If this tree doesn't make it, you know, if I see that these limbs, well, you can actually see by here, right there, this is where it was broken off, and you can tell something's happening to this side right here. Maybe water penetrating, but either way, you can cut it way lower. You know, see there's some growth from the rootstock. Well, I got rid of it, but just so the energy can go here. But you can grow out the rootstock and just graft to it. You know, you can graft like 3 or 4 scion pieces, and they'll kind of grow in and cover up the, you know, the trunk. And look what I'm gonna do here right now, just because I have this growth, I'll clean this up, because the saw leaves a really jagged, kind of rough edges, and for the cambium to cover up nice, this would help to grow together. So I'll see how it does, and maybe I'll graft to it if I get some scion wood. Maybe I can pull some off the other trees. So I'm doing that, and then I'll spray, not to get on the leaves. It's kind of like tar. There you go. Cover that up, and then I'll show some further progress once this grows. You know, hopefully it don't die, but as much as I can do at this point, you know, get it growing. So I was just gonna show you the pruning sealer. It's really easy to use. It's very non-messy, so you can spray it on instead of having the cap and the brush. It works really good to cover things up, so it doesn't oxidize. Well, I mean, this particular apricot, the cambium on it, you saw when I cut it, it wasn't green, but I don't want to go down deeper, not just yet. I can retrim it again later. I just want to see the growth, how these shoots will grow. If they grow well, I can retrim it and cover. I just don't want to go too deep and have them dry out. So I'll seal this up. Technically you want the cambium layer, where it's green, exposed and trimmed nicely and spray it. I just don't want to go down deeper, and then cause this to dry up. I'll leave it at this point, wherever it is. If it grows well, then it's great. If not, we'll have to see if the rootstock will produce any shoots, which it did. I ripped them off so I can get these guys to grow. This one's wilting, but the ones behind it, they're very, they look really good. So I'm assuming this one might be, I don't know, either struggling or a little damaged. We'll see. Maybe this side of the tree is getting less, or the cambium's dying off. I'm not sure, but we'll see. We'll watch how it does. There's another shoot coming up here. So if it sprouts anything lower, it still might. And, if those become vigorous, and we'll trim it lower. Just have to watch. Grow and learn, right? So I'm gonna find out what happens. And once again, a good sealer. No mess, no fuss. Just spray it on, done. So if you make any larger cuts, you can carry this around with you. I mean, you have a hoodie or any kind of belt with pockets, just throw that in, spray it, keep going. Take care. My name is John. I'll see you in the next video.